Welcome everyone back again at it here at Resolutions Design. This is Edwin Anthony teaching you yet another Shopify tutorial. In this specific tutorial, we're going to talk about everything regarding your own personal email, right? So for your business, not personal, but for your business. So let's say you guys went ahead and started your own store. You have your personal Gmail account, right? But you need something such as an info at mybusinessname.com or whatever domain name is it that you purchased, or like a hello. Why is this important, guys? So the reason I'm making this video and why this is important is because you guys need to add this into Klaviyo. So if you guys are sending out emails from Klaviyo, like email blasts to people, you can't do it with your personal Gmail. You can't put it, even with a Gmail that says your business name at gmail.com, you guys can't do that. Because what's going to end up happening is that when you guys do the email blasts, Gmail especially is going to know this. And they're going to be like, hey, this is a personal account. This is not a business account. And they're going to put it automatically into spam, or you're going to get a very low open rate because of that, right? It tarnishes your brand. And so to avoid this, what we need to do is create a professional email, something with that ends with the at yourbusinessname.com at the end. Okay. And so one of the places that I like to do this is Google Workspace. So Google Workspace, for those back in the days, it was called G Suite. You guys remember G Suite? So G Suite, right, allows you to make a business enterprise solution, not just for you, right? Not just info at yourbusinessname.com. It could make for all your staff members. So if you have someone in marketing, you could put, marketing at yourbusinessemail.com or all your staff members. And the reason why I like using Workspace is because you're still using the Gmail platform and it uses the platform as a software. It's just that you get that, exclusive stuff. Enough about explaining. Let's just get right to it into the installation. I'll leave the link down at the description for those guys who are interested. And also for those who have signed up with me on the course, I'll try to see if I could send you guys a discount so that you guys could jump into this. But let's look at pricing here for a second. What does this cost? Right. So, as you can see here, Business Starter, it starts as low as $6 a month. You could pay for the whole year. You could pay it month to month, however you guys see fit. And as you notice, it's an ecosystem, right? It's not just the email itself. You guys get to take advantage of the competitor of Zoom, which you could do video meetings, right? And then you have the Google Share Drive, which you guys get tons of good space. This one seems adequate, especially if you're in e-commerce, because you want to store a lot of photos, images, and something in the cloud so that if you guys save it, you don't lose it eventually. So I recommend something like this. The moment that you guys start getting much bigger into the business, then you guys could go here. And of course, they added more security, so on and so forth, okay? So let's go ahead and get started just to show you how this all looks like. All right, so I'm going to fill out this questionnaire here real quickly, one by one. And it's a very simple questionnaire that you guys will fill out. By the time of this recording, you could see that it's like this. So if you're watching this in the future, this might have changed because Google's always updating their stuff, right? And so in this particular instance, we're going to pretend that we already have an existing domain, right? If you guys don't have a domain, you could go ahead to the right side where it says a new domain. But for us here, we're going to use an existing domain because we went ahead and created a domain on GoDaddy.com, which personally, that's my preferred place because it's very friendly with Shopify. I don't like purchasing domains from Shopify because they use a private third party. And GoDaddy seems like the perfect spot just for domains. I don't like to do anything else inside of GoDaddy, just for domains. That's it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and say an existing domain. That's what we're going to select here. And then from there, you're going to put your .com address or your domain name right there. All right. So from this point, it's asking, well, how would you sign in? What is going to be your main username? And this is a key focus here where I want you guys to follow. Use the email address that you created your Gmail account. In other words, for those who have been following the SEO tutorials, I've taught you guys that you should create a dev email address, but that's a Gmail, right? So for example, think about your company business. Suppose your company business is called myboots.com. You would create a Gmail that's called dev myboots devmyboots@gmail.com. You would create something like that. Or if, let's say your company is Uline, right? Hypothetically, you would create a developer account called devuline@gmail.com. It's a developer's email, and that could be a Gmail. But for this one, since we're going business now, and this is going to be used so that you could communicate to your customers professionally, we want to use that same dev Gmail just to keep everything all aligned, okay? So for this particular page, what we're going to do is, what are we going to use as a username? And if you click on this one right here, it's asking, what is your first email going to be? But we all know that it's going to end with the Digo Pets, right? And so in this instance, what you're going to do, or your company name rather, what you're going to do is you could use like a hello, you could use an info, you could use your first name, however it is that you see fit. But because we're doing this for marketing purposes, we're going to call this hello at thecompanyname.com. We want to make this very, very friendly. And then as far as the password goes, go ahead and just create a very strong password. I would advise you guys using something like the Safari thing, or maybe like a Dashlane or something like, that's very difficult, so that you're not sharing passwords, or, your password doesn't show up on the dark web or anything like that. So go ahead and create a very, very strong custom password for this. All right, so once you guys have done that, it's saying that it's going to give you 14 days for free. And again, I repeat, if you guys are part of my email plan or part of my group, I would see if I could send out a promotional code so that you guys could save money. And that's what we're going to do at this case. So we went ahead and added our promotional code for this because we are doing this for a client. And as you can see, it's been validated, and it's giving us a little 10% off for each month, which is good to save money. It's always good to save money, guys. So we're going to go ahead and press next. All right, so once you have entered your credit card details information as well as the promotion, it says that it has been accounted, and we are now ready to set up the email address, which is next. First, we had to create the workspace, and now we're setting up the email. Let's continue to the next step here. All right, so right away, let's go ahead and take advantage and go and add to log in. And once we're logged in, it's saying, hey, welcome to your new email account. So on and so forth. So just kind of read this whenever you get a chance, and let's say you understand. And this is your admin console. So an admin console is kind of similar towards Shopify. When you guys go to the admin page for Shopify, you go to the back end. That's what that means. So you're going to see it's pretty intense, but you'll see in a second. So let's go ahead and activate the Gmail for digopets.com. So it says route your emails to Gmail inboxes. It should take 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and do so. Activate. And now it's telling us that we need to go into GoDaddy in order to activate. Now, the reason why this is happening, it already detected that our domain name comes from GoDaddy. But in your case, if you guys did not do GoDaddy, it might be pointing somewhere else. So this is the part of the video that if you don't have GoDaddy and you're not seeing this, I'm not sure if I could troubleshoot you and explain to you what you need to do from this point. Because again, it really all depends on who is your domain provider, right? It could be Shopify, it could be whoever. Okay, so this screen might be different for you if you're watching and it's not GoDaddy. I repeat, I choose GoDaddy because how easy it is and how worldwide it's recognized in order for us to go through these things. Granted, there's other providers that are much cheaper, right, on a per dollar per month towards your domain, but I choose to work with something that just works everywhere versus saving just a few bucks per month just to like troubleshoot and go through loops and hoops and trying to figure out stuff. That's the part where it gets very frustrating. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in to activate, and let's see what happens after we're done with all that. All right, so in this part of the video, what I've decided to do was, instead of going to the automatic process, which works very easy, by the way, I decided to kind of like give you guys a more better solution, which is going the manual route. And so the manual route pretty much works with almost all other companies. And basically what they want you to do is to add DNS records into your domain. What is a DNS record? Well, inside of your business.com name, like yourbusinessname.com, there's some numerical properties inside of your GoDaddy or inside of whatever platform you're using. We have to add some addresses inside of that configuration so that Gmail could validate it, and then that's how they're able to do the email. So in other words, it's kind of like a key in order for the domain to speak to Gmail. That's all it is in layman's terms. They need to speak to one another so that you could use the platform. Do you follow what I mean? That's what this means. So let's go ahead and do all this stuff manually. So go ahead and log in, and what you're looking for is DNS. You're looking for somewhere where it says manage DNS. And let's go ahead to that next step. All right, so for those who are inside of GoDaddy, I went inside to where it says DNS, and it shows these records. It's going to show a whole bunch of records, so on and so forth. So what we're going to try to do is add specific records using GoDaddy based on GoDaddy's website. All right, so let's go ahead and add a new record. We're going to go right here, and we have to select a type of record. In this case, we're going to call it an MX record. Okay, and on the hosting, or on the name, we're just going to put an @ sign right there. And then for priority, we're going to go ahead and make it a 1 priority. And the value for this is going to be this code right here that I'm about to show you guys. It starts with ASPMXL for Google. Again, this is all for GoDaddy. So if you're not using GoDaddy, then this might be a little bit different. But the TTL, we're going to say how long this should take. I like posting it for half hour. I mean, it says for 1 hour, but I like it so that it's a bit faster. And so this is my first record right here. Let's go ahead and add that record. Okay, so that record has been done, and we went ahead and press save. Notice, guys, sometimes these records, they might take some time in order to propagate. Propagate means that, you know, with their servers, they get to speak, and it takes time for it all to just kind of like settle in. And so for that reason, we're going to go ahead and start adding the rest of the records. So let me show you what the other records look like, also MX. All right, so here's the page from Gmail. It says that we have to add all of these guys: priority 1, 5, 5, 10, 10. Everything's going to have the @ sound. I mean, the ampersand, pretty much, right? The symbol. And then the rest of them, it has to point to these specific ones. So make sure that you're doing this very accurately. Just pretty much copy paste from these guys and make sure that you add the rest of these records. All of this is for Gmail's or Google's mail server. So let's just make sure that all of this is pretty tight. All right, so this is just me adding the last one, right? So this is the last one is 10 with the value of 4. Yeah, I skipped it because I didn't want you guys waiting on me while I do all of this. So the first one you guys already saw. If you rewind, that's the first one. It doesn't have any alt value on it. It just has the ASPMX. And then I did same thing over here, but I did priority 5, and that was with the alt 1. So alt 1, ASPMX, same thing, right? With half an hour. Then I did another 5 with the alt 2. Okay, as you rewind, you'll see the list what I'm talking about. This is the last one right here. So let's go ahead and add this record. So we should have in total 5 records. Okay, 5 records. If you have more than that, just make sure where it says points to, you might have a duplicate there somewhere, or something might have happened. So just make sure that you have those 5 records, and let's continue. All right, so we're almost done. So after these 5 MX records, you're going to get a unique one, okay? And on this one, it says get your verification code. I pretty much hid it for privacy purposes. But what you're going to want to do is right-click and copy on that one, and you're going to add another MX record, right? And it's going to be set to priority 15. Everything else stays the same. But where it says point to, the address, rather than the ASPMX code, you're going to put this long code. But just make sure that that there's a period at the end of that long code. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so as you can see right here, I put it as priority 15. Again, this is the 6th code. This is the final code. And always make sure that there's a dot at the end of the value. And let's go ahead and add that record. That'll be our last record to add. So in total, from this tutorial so far, you've added 6 records. Okay, let's go ahead and continue to the next step. All right, so now that we are back over here, let's go ahead and click Activate Gmail to see if all of this processed through. And they're going through their little checking process where they're validating these records. Again, I repeat, depending on what platform you're using, you might have a problem here. Okay, you might have a problem here meaning that it might take a little bit of time in order to propagate. So if this is not working for you immediately as you're troubleshooting following this tutorial, I want to say give it a good hour or two and then come back to this and validate to make sure that all of these records have been added for sure, right? But again, if you are missing some of them, I tell you, go very slowly or get yourself a web developer or someone who knows how to do this stuff. You could hire us if you want to, but I'm gonna be honest with you, for this, you know, we are a bit expensive. So if you're okay with that, you could go ahead and, you know, send me a message and I'll go ahead and see if I could do this for you. But this part is very critical to make sure that you guys have this running, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and fast forward until this is completed. And yeah, let's just fast forward. Okay. So it says, great job. MX records are updated. You could start using Google Workspace. We recommend moving your contacts, calendars, blah, 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 into your new business account. So what this means is that all of your customer service emails needs to go here. Anything, questions about, hey, what's the status of my order, all that stuff. No more personal email. Move all of this stuff over here. If you're in the service industry, calendars, you know, bookmarks, whatever, all that stuff, do it here. So let's go ahead and press finish and let's dive in. All right, add a new user for your team. Let's see if this is something that perhaps we could skip. Okay, here we are. So what I ended up doing was I clicked this hamburger menu on the upper left and I just pressed home and it brought me here. So it says that I have one user, I have up to 10 licensing remaining. 10 licensing meaning that I have 10 users. Like eventually I could put 10 other people as a staff and you could manage them right here to see who those emails are, XYZ, etc. You guys get the point. Let's go ahead and see if we could manage. Hold on. Okay, now for this, I went into my dev email. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if I could log in into the hello@digopets.com, which is that new email that I spoke to you guys about. And it might ask you to log in, but if it doesn't, that's perfectly fine. And here it is. We are in our new email. So on this new email, all I like to do in the beginning is just test it out, right? So let's test out a few emails just to make sure that the emails are in fact working, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do a test email real quick, just a before and after, and fast forward. All right, so as you guys could see right here, we went ahead and tested out an email. We received an email from our developer's email account, and then we went ahead and responded back. So everything is fine. Now, for all of those who get one of these guys, mail delivery subsystem from mailer, daemon, Gmail, mail, whatever error occurred, the message was not sent. Think of it this way. There's an incoming channel and then there's an outgoing channel, okay? So what you guys have seen up top is incoming working perfectly, but the outbound is not yet done. So this is what I mean by let's allow it to propagate for a minute. I'd say give it a few hours, and then from there, that's when you finally determine if this is functioning or not. But if you guys do have issues with this, please let me know down in the comments, and then I'll give you the best approach towards what you could do. In the next video, what we're going to talk about is how to grab this custom email and put it into Klaviyo so that all of your emails outbound going to your customers come from that email account, as well as Shopify, so that your customers, you know, when you get an order confirmation or whatnot, it comes from a professional email and not a Gmail account, which is not good. All right. So other than that, guys, thank you so much. And until next time.